On Saturday, February 22nd, you are invited to A Night with the Panthers, a special fundraiser dedicated to supporting Black Panther veterans who now require assistance with essential needs such as medicine, food, and housing. These Black Panther veterans championed human rights, fed the hungry, educated the community, and stood as powerful symbols of resistance and resilience. Despite their incredible sacrifices, loving and serving the people did not come with retirement plans or financial security. So, now it's our time to honor their legacy and ensure that they are cared for with the dignity they deserve. You can help by attending and supporting A Night with the Panthers, Saturday, February 22nd, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Project 43 Team Post Center, 6841 Crenshaw Boulevard, Los Angeles. For more information, contact Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. That's Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Come on, kiss the gun. Welcome in to KBLA Talk 1580. We're rocking out with the Prince version of Sex Shooter. And you know why. Because we're going to be getting into a little Prince update tonight. Happy Friday. Thank you for spending at least a portion of your day with me. I'm Jill Munroe. Welcome to your entertainment news update. I hope that you are relaxed. It's Friday, so that means you can have a libation or two. And get ready to get into the biggest news stories and across entertainment and culture. You know, the ones that matter. So tonight, of course, we have a packed show. As mentioned, I want Prince fans to get ready because we're going to be getting into this Netflix documentary that's coming. It was a little delayed, and we'll get into the details of that, but I am excited for it. I am a huge Prince fan. When I was a kid, with no business, I actually went to the Purple Rain tour. That tour was not kid appropriate. And random fact, I went to school with Apollonia's brother. So for like one of our, what are they called? Like morning announcements or something. They had Apollonia come speak to us, which in hindsight, again, wild and inappropriate because none of her work was kid friendly, but it was exciting for us. We're also going to get into your guy, Kanye West. He's trolling again for attention, pulling out all the stops. But I think that beyond he has something to promote, I think I know why. And Charlamagne hit on it a little bit, so we're going to get into that. And, you know, it is the weekend before the Super Bowl, so of course, we got a little Super Bowl related news that we're going to get into a little bit later. But before we get into all of that, you know, sit back, relax, turn the volume up. Got something to share. We've been talking about Leangelo Ball. Jello. I should just say Jello since I'm having a tongue twister tonight. And his single Tweaker has been burning up the charts. It's all over TikTok. It got him into a deal with Def Jam. And now, once again, the Ball brothers are showing their domination. Jello will be performing at All Star Saturday night in his first live performance from the Chase Center during NBA All-Star Weekend next Saturday. Andy?
The disrespect.
What disrespect?
I'm being facetious. But
okay.
When you think about All-Star Weekend,
right?
LaMelo Ball should have been an All-Star this year.
This is true.
But I understand the criticism as to why he's not an all-star. But his play has definitely been all-star caliber.
The record. Do you think it's time to kind of look at that differently because of threes and the way the game is changing? No. Okay.
Not at all.
Still should be a team winning.
100%. I mean, you're a great player, but it's also not translating into victory. So I think that's also the reason why he's not an all-star. But it's just funny. Lonzo and LaMelo being a part of the league for a couple years now, for a handful of years now, and they've had no spotlight on an all-star platform.
And now Jello will.
But Jello, who's not even in the league, gets that spotlight.
I bet you they're going to be performing with them, so the Ball brothers will be on display.
LeVar too.
They got to have LeVar come out. Absolutely. They got to. And Lil Wayne is jumping on the remix with Jello.
I already heard it.
You already heard it?
I already heard it.
Okay.
He did it justice.
All right. Look at that. So listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into the details of this upcoming Prince documentary, plus Kanye West trolling for attention, and more trending news topics. All of that and more on the other side. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Wanna play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Now Taxes is 100% free when you file in the TurboTax app if you didn't file with us last year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just do your own taxes in the app by 2/18.
What if I have lots of forms?
All good, all 100% free.
What if I had 3 jobs?
Still 100% free.
What if I once saw Bigfoot?
That has nothing to do with taxes, so still 100% free.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now this is taxes. See if you qualify in the TurboTax app. Excludes TurboTax Live, must start and file in app by 2/18.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So, of course, if at any point you want to join this conversation, 800-920-1580. You know, we're available on all social media, KBLA 1580. I am personally at Stiletto Jill. And as always, the YouTube chat is bustling over, so you can hop in there and share your thoughts there. Now, before we get into Prince, I did want to mention, Snoop Dogg did say, cancel who, cancel what. And he was the host of the NFL Honors last night. And one of his jokes has people kind of giggling, kind of looking at Bill Belichick like, you the man, dog, or you kind of crazy, dog. We'll see what you guys think. So Snoop was reminiscing about his past as an NFL fan. And he said, I remember when the Cowboys were good, when the Chiefs were bad. And I remember, what was it? Bill Belichick's girlfriend wasn't even born yet. Now, and the camera panned to her, and she was pretty shocked, and she kind of laughed it off. But, it was hitting. Mind you, Bill Belichick is 72. He giggled. His girl, I should not say his girl, his lady friend, she's 24. They've been together for about 2 years, so since 70 and 22. And, you're only as young as you feel. So get it in, young Bill Belichick, get it in. So, look, we all love Prince, right? It has been almost 9 years since we lost him. It'll be 9 years in April. We actually lost Vanity 9 years ago in this month, Denise Matthews as well. And, there was a documentary that was being discussed with his estate and Netflix. It was created, produced, and it has a bunch of never-before-seen footage that Prince personally shot from his personal archives and so forth. But it was 9 hours long. 9 hours, not a series, just a documentary, right? And personally, I'm kind of all for that, right? But as a series, not as a one sitting thing, but as a series, we had OJ Made in America. We've had other things. We had Magic Johnson's series. So I would be here for a 9-episode Prince docuseries, an hour each, right?
Yeah, if they can do Michael Jackson, the same thing. What was that, The American Dream?
But that was different. That was
like a movie.
That was a biopic. So
I hear you. Okay.
This, for Prince is an actual documentary.
A 9-hour documentary?
Yeah, but hear me out. It could have been a series.
I agree.
However, Netflix was like, no, that's way too long. You're crazy. We're not rocking with that. We're not putting that out. So, not Netflix. I think Prince's estate, actually. So they got involved. There's some negotiations. Now, some people are concerned that they're happy the estate is involved, but also concerned, will we get the truth? Will we get the real stories about certain relationships, certain aspects of things that happen, especially things around the end of Prince's life and his addiction, which ultimately, he succumbed to. So that is some of the concerns, but they've come to an agreement, and it still will contain never-before-seen footage, exclusive interviews, backstage things. I hope they go into things like Prince's after the 1999 era or during the 1999 era. I hope that they talk about Prince's decision to have his alter ego, Jamie Starr, and go on and produce some of the Time song. And you could tell when listening to some of the Times early work where Prince is on the backgrounds, like all of the backgrounds subbing in. I think when I was a little kid, I thought Prince and Morris Day were brothers. I don't know why. I just thought that as a kid. But also with the Vanity 6 album. Now, I wonder if they'll talk about, too, the kind of feud between Prince and Rick James. Because we know that Rick James felt as though Prince stole a lot of his stage show performance and flair from him. Even the idea for Vanity 6. Because Rick James believes he had it first with the Mary Jane Girls, whom I love, Boys, Candyman, In My House, whichever iteration of it, the original with Corvette, the later one with Cherry. We're down with the Mary Jane Girls, right? JoJo, Candy, Maxine. Yeah. But he claims that Prince ripped him off for that to do Vanity 6. And also, if you believe the rumors, I'm not sure if it's been confirmed or not, but Vanity was friends with Rick James first. And she actually, met Prince randomly backstage at the American Music Awards. And so that's how that thing kicked off. So we'll have to see what is going to be exactly involved in it. I know. I mean, personally, like I said, I can't wait. I have owned every Prince album on vinyl. Well, the early stuff on vinyl, cassette, and then later again on CD. And if some of it's available on streaming, that too. Andy,
Is Prince your goat?
for my childhood, obviously, I was a child in the 80s. So Prince and Michael Jackson were neck and neck. I felt like Michael Jackson was like boy next door, the good guy, and Prince was like the bad boy, kind of things like that. So I love them both.
Okay, I was about to say, are you Prince or Michael?
I always felt that was stupid. I did not want to choose. I had both posters on the walls. Like I said, I went to the Purple Rain concert. I still have the concert booklet from it because I was so in awe. Very sad that I didn't get to see Apollonia 6 or The Time. I expected that in my mind as a child, and it wasn't. But I saw Sheila E. And, Prince is such a magical figure in his artistry, in his writing, and also in his self-containment, his speaking out against record companies so early and about publishing. I'm really curious about that period and what his personal conversations were like during that era. Changing your name to an unpronounceable symbol to get around your record contract was really quite innovative if you think about it at the time. So you look like you have something to add, Andy.
Nah, just, I was going to say, if you had tickets, same night, same time, Michael Jackson, Prince.
Oh, that's not fair.
What concert you going to?
That's not fair.
At all?
Really not fair.
All right, how about you hit the first half of Prince, right? And then you leave and you jet out so you could hit the end of Michael Jackson's concert.
You have to do something like that. The thing about Prince concerts, I remember when he did about maybe 10, 12 years ago, those 7 nights at the Forum.
Yeah.
And if you left when you thought the concert was over, you missed about 30 minutes of more performance and more hits. Different stuff every night. He would make you wait for a second, but sometimes that was the only way you were going to see Erotic City or things like that, And there are certain songs, especially as it got when he delved into. It's so interesting that he became a Jehovah's Witness and Michael left that faith because Michael felt it, it's been talked about. It's
very restrictive.
Restrictive as far as his performing aspect. And so it's interesting that Prince, as he got more into his artistry or further into his career, chose to dive more into it. And that caused him for a while to stop performing certain songs like Darling Nikki and things of that nature. So I remember during that 7 or 14 day and night stand that he did, he would tease you and play the intro keys to it, but he would not go into it. So, shout out to the chat. Forrest Harrison says, Michael or Prince. Michael had grown men crying, passing out in the front row. He really did. And Liminal says, I always dreamed about the vault, but without him here, it's not the same. I do. He's talking about the vault of Prince's vault of his songs and video. But, Prince was very controlling as far as what he wanted the audience to see, what he felt was just for his eyes, a work in progress that he would not want fans to get a hold of. And so in this type of stuff, we are obviously in violation of some of his wishes when we are looking at these types of things. But as much as I love him, I kind of don't care about that because I want to see it. I want to be a part of it. Understanding, though, that it's not complete works in some instances. It is not in a format that he felt would best showcase his artistry. So I think that is fair. Fahima says, Charlemagne the God comments that, well, we're going to get into that, Fahima, so I'm going to put a pin in that. We're going to talk about it because we're actually going to play the clip because I thought it was pretty insightful. But, Prince is a legend, and the manufactured or real back and forth between him and Michael in the 80s. I hope that that stuff is included in the documentary too. Of course, we've heard the story about the bad video and Prince turning it down. I mean, there's so many things. I wonder if we're going to get to hear about some of Prince's funnier stories in playing basketball. You know how Charlie Murphy introduced us to Prince's gangster side when it comes to on the court. I wonder if we'll hear some of those stories and things of that nature from Prince's perspective, or see footage or things like that, because it is interesting and in this case a good thing, I guess, that he was so diligent or had the foresight, or someone did, to record some of these moments and things like that. Do you ever think about, like, now, because we all have phones in our hands, essentially video cameras, and we record and share so much of your life, do you ever think about at some point putting together like a mini documentary on your life, or a compilation of things, because you have so much footage of different points, like even if it's a short one, like the last 10 years when social media has been red hot?
I don't know too much about a documentary or so, but I do have footage of, my younger years. I used to be an individual who carried a camcorder every day in high school.
Oh, okay. So you got it locked in.
I definitely got some footage, just me and some of my friends playing basketball and stuff like that. Actually, my friend, he's been asking our group of friends for any like VHSs and stuff so he can dub it and, digitize it or whatnot, because he's actually working on something on him, but I don't know if it's much of a documentary. But I'll say this, man, if you have a phone, you have a camera on there, like, record some aspects of your life. You know what I'm saying? I think it's definitely important, especially, if you have a legacy, if you got kids, or just for whoever, I think it's important. Document your life.
Because I think about this too, Andy. You went to Palisades, so if you have footage from high school on campus, like, the fact is that campus, that area is forever changed. So 100%. Those moments are crystallized. And
hey, if somebody want to cut a check, you know what I'm saying? I got some footage, you know what I'm saying?
There's services that do that, where, like, if you one, user-generated content is a thing now where they cast for it. So casting agencies will say, hey, if you are a family of 3 with a pool and barbecue day, send us your footage. And if we like it, they're going to use it in a alarm commercial spot, and they'll pay you $500, $1,000 or something like that for the footage. So that's another thing, you can make a little bit of change off of your memories as well. So, Liminal in the chat says, I don't think Prince thought Michael was on his level musically, to be honest. I would agree with that. I think because of the fact that Prince played so many different instruments and Michael was more intuitive about his musicianship, I think that, depending upon where you are with it, you might look at some other things. And, we will have to see. We got a call on the line. Forrest from Compton. Always good to hear from you, Forrest. Happy Friday.
Hey, lady.
Hello.
Happy Friday to you, too. I have two quick stories about Prince. One is I went to that 21 Days in concert in Inglewood.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that I was looking at the crowd, and I stayed for the second show, basically. And I was looking at the crowd, but I noticed everybody, it was a group of cholos, it was a group of Crips, a group of Bloods, a white family, a black family, basically all these different types of people basically focused on that one little man.
That's right.
And that's how much power that he had, over people as far as bringing people together,
I mean, Prince was a G. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying Prince was amazing. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And a quick story. He told a story about Morris Day is actually Prince's alter ego.
Okay.
I don't know if that's his real name, Morris Day, but Prince, he couldn't pull it off as being that, how Morris Day's body language and the way he talks, but he was basically Morris Day, but in order to pull it off, he had to use his drummer, which was Morris Day. Morris Day was the drummer in the beginning. And over time, he just became Morris Day because that's who people knew him as. I don't know if that's his real name or not, but that character of, the cool guy with the baggies and this and that was Prince's alter ego. And he wrote all the music and everything. And when they wanted to tour at the time, remember in the beginning they couldn't.
Right, because Prince said no.
Prince, everything was him. It was belonging to him.
Listen.
But in the end, he ended up giving it to him and told him he could use it.
He did. Andy?
According to Wikipedia, his name is Morris E. Day.
It is his name, but I know what he means about the alter ego. That's why I mentioned Jamie Starr, because he produced a lot of the stuff. Listen, when we come forward, we'll get more into the Prince topic, and then we're going to talk about your guy Kanye West outbursts and why we think it is more than just for attention. There's a little more behind it. So we'll get into all of that on the other side. You are locked in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580, News, Traffic, and Sports on the other side.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The Department of Justice has agreed to not release a list of FBI agents investigating January 6 cases until the court rules on an injunction. If reversed, they must give 2 days' notice. The agreement follows a lawsuit by FBI employees seeking to block its release. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams will testify at a GOP hearing on sanctuary cities March 5th alongside mayors from Boston, Chicago, and Denver. House Republicans accuse them of prioritizing illegal immigrants over Americans, but Adams insists violent offenders should not be on New York City streets regardless of status. Atlanta may sell 20,000 acres bought decades ago for a possible airport. The state offered $100 million for conservation, but Black Mayor Andre Dickens says no decision has been made. And Netflix has scrapped its Prince documentary after nearly 7 years, citing a mutual agreement with the estate. I'm Amber Payton on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Sherman Oaks, it's tough on the 405 northbound just past the 101. An earlier crash is being cleared out of lanes, but that drive remains pretty tough all the way out of West LA, getting away from Sunset Boulevard. The drive on the 101 northbound slowing down as well out of Studio City from Laurel Canyon all the way to the 101 and all the way to the 405. The drive in Monrovia, westbound 210. We're seeing delays here away from Myrtle, looking a lot better by Rosemead Boulevard.
Let Express Employment Professionals help you hire for contract or full-time jobs. Forget about recruiting, sifting through resumes, and interviews with unqualified applicants. Go to expresspros.com to find the location near you. That's expresspros.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Former Chargers tight end Antonio Gates did not play football in college. He was ignored in the 2003 NFL Draft. None of the NFL's 32 teams thought Gates was worth a draft pick, mainly because he played basketball at Kent State University. The Chargers took a chance on Gates and signed him as a free agent. 22 years later, Gates was selected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Class of 2025. The induction ceremony is August 2nd in Canton, Ohio. Gates, an 8-time Pro Bowler, played all of his 16 seasons with the Chargers. He retired in 2018. His 116 touchdown catches is the all-time record for NFL tight ends. Gates also holds the Chargers record for most receptions, 955, and most receiving yards, 11,841. Gates is the 15th Chargers player to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
I have a dream today.
They said it couldn't be done. They said we wouldn't make it. But history had other plans. This February, KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates the dreamers, the doers, and the breakthrough makers of Black History Month. Your station, your stories. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Wanna play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it!
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You know we got to let the Mary Jane girls rock a little. Welcome back in to KBLA Talk 1580. You are rocking with Jill Munroe here with your entertainment news update on this Friday evening. Thank you for tapping in. So just to clarify also, I'm not sure if Netflix is going to be distributing the new Prince documentary, but they have released an uncoupled as far as the 9-hour one. So we'll have to see who eventually puts it out, but it is coming. And like I said, I can't wait. There's so many different eras and aspects of Prince that we have to talk about. I mean, Recasto? What is this Recasto? You have to have seen Under the Cherry Moon to get that. But, my real ones will feel me on that. So, listen, there's so many different Prince eras, so much to discuss. I still stand by. I understand why they would be a little gun shy from 9 hours. And again, you have to think about what aspects of the content the family may not want included. I'm not saying that that is the case, but it is always a consideration. So, we'll have to see what happens. So, Forrest Harrison said I look like one of the Mary Jane girls. Who? Which one? JoJo with the braids and the beads? I haven't had any braids. Cherry or Corvette? Can't be Maxie. or Maxine, I think, because, there's a race difference. Anyway, listen, she was the white girl. Both the groups had one. Brenda in Vanity 6. I think her name, was it JoJo? I can't remember what her name was in the Mary Jane Girls, but she was there. She always wore the leather. So shout out to both groups. So let's get into this Kanye West. You know that he has a new project coming up, Bully. He said that he came up with the name of the album after his son Saint was telling him a story about where he kicked one of his friends because that friend was weak. Now, the context, I don't know. I'm going to try not to judge because outside looking in, that sounds crazy. Like you're encouraging your child to be a bully, but maybe Saint was being picked on. I don't know. So I'm going to leave the kids out of it and just say that that's what Ye said. But obviously we saw his stunts and shows with Bianca, his wife, last week at the Grammy red carpet. We saw them stop traffic during the middle of the week to do an impromptu photo shoot. And, Kanye has been, like he always does, right before he has something dropping, going on these Twitter and Instagram rants. And so in the latest one that he went into last night, there was a bunch of things, he was bigging up Hitler, going back to his slavery was a choice thing. He said that we let Chris Brown down and we didn't hold him down throughout his troubles. He also said that the community is not holding Puff down, even though I think it was the Drink Champs interview he did a couple of months back, where he was basically kind of cutting up Puff. But now he's on Team Puff, so much so that he is dropping a Yeezy and Sean John collaboration, and it's on his website. Mind you, you can't see any prices for any of the things that are on the site, but if you drop them into the cart, you see that everything on the site is currently $20, which is a far cry from some of his prior prices. What else was Kanye saying? He went on this weird rant about what he said is the inappropriateness of fat women and lingerie and why that equates to a man being broke. He's just doing stuff and just spiraling. He also said he was completely sober doing all of this. And I believe him. I absolutely believe him. And this is why. As I mentioned, before every project, Kanye has been doing this for a couple of years now. He gets on social media and goes crazy, right? With the clips. He did an interview with Justin LeBoy, The Download, and he's given a lot of sound bites there about various things. And so it's stunts and shows, right? He has a project coming out. He's trying to get us ready, get back on our radar. He dared people to cancel him. But Charlemagne the God, I feel, highlighted really, really, in addition to he has some stuff to promote, what's going on with Kanye at this point in time. So let's take a listen.
He's doing that because he's envious of Kendrick's moment. He wishes this was him because Kendrick is having a moment for being a prolific artist who took out his number one op, Drake, right? That's what Kanye wishes that was him in this moment. So he's been doing all these antics for attention all week because he's trying to get people to do exactly what they are doing now, and that's talking about him. But Kanye, that is a sideshow compared to what Kendrick did on Sunday at the Grammys and what Kendrick is going to do this Sunday at the Super Bowl.
And I have to say, I agree a little bit. Remember, Kanye has talked about Drake and Kim supposedly having a situation. He's thrown out some crazy accusations surrounding Drake. Remember, Kanye was one of the first to come out against Drake. And he called Lucien Drake's rich baby daddy. This was a while ago. So the idea that he couldn't be respected, and we are talking about Kanye West, one whose ego is immense. Correct? Correct. So the idea that he's looking at Kendrick like, and they're both Geminis, by the way. Man, that probably was supposed to be my moment, and just doing the Kanye thing to get the attention. I don't think he's that far off the mark.
I disagree. I don't think it has anything to do with envy. I just think that, when you have a project drop in, you're going to create some sort of buzz. And it's just par for course. I mean, it just so happens to be, it's like Jay-Z, right?
So you don't think that he has a little bit of envy that he wasn't the one to start Drake's downfall?
No.
No?
Not at all. Not at all. And I mean, is there really a downfall of Drake? He just started with his Australian tour that,
right.
well,
there's something. Drake feels that he was harmed from all of this. Yeah. That is the basis of his lawsuit. So, yeah, there's something.
Fair enough. But, it's just Kanye being Kanye. I don't think it has anything to tie in with the Super Bowl and him being envious of Kendrick Lamar. I mean, since they announced Kendrick Lamar as the person who's going to be doing the halftime show, I have not heard anything from Kanye West. So now all of a sudden, the week of, I'm supposed to be jealous of this man? Nah. What he's doing is what it seems like the blueprint is when it comes down to hip hop. When people drop albums and stuff like that. Chris Brown is dropping the album. I'm Jay-Z. Let me go ahead and drop an album off of that. So with the buzz behind the Super Bowl and Kendrick being the representative of hip hop, let me go ahead and drop around that time period. That's what I think.
Well, one of the things, Kendrick, as we mentioned, did his Super Bowl pre-press conference the other day, and he dropped an interview with Ebro and Nadeska, and he said that his thought process with this album was that he wanted to bring back the sport of rap. He said people forget that rapping is an art form and it is to be studied and mastered, and there are levels to this. Also, when asked about the expectation for his performance coming up, because he has a lot of product that he can pull from this past 10 or plus so years that he's been in the game. Actually about 13, 15, somewhere in there. He said that he's really feeling this current moment, and he feels so good right now that it would be hard for him to step back into the old stuff. So I don't know what that means, but that sounds like we're going to hear a lot of GNX.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at it at all, but I'm just saying, he's just putting it out there. Mm-hmm. And also, Kendrick has a line where he talks about being, so LA and New Orleans?
Walking in New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling mustard.
Shout out to defensive rookie of the year? He plays for the Rams.
Verse.
There you go. Ups. So, and that was the Rams caption on the photo of Jared.
Walking in LA with the walking in New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling mustard.
So that is one of my favorite. There's a lot of lines, but caption worthy, and I thought the Rams were kind of ill.
Is GNX better than Good Kid, Mad City?
For me. Wow. For me. And here's the thing, I love Good Kid, Mad City. That had poetic justice on it, and all of the things. But I think maybe I'm with Kendrick right now in that, in the moment of the way it makes you feel right now, it feels really, really good, and it feels like a resurgence of LA in hip hop, and maybe that's why.
So it's above To Pimp a Butterfly.
Maybe, because let me tell you why else. Why else too? Yeah. Because one, I like the throwback to the late 80s West Coast beats that people don't really feel, like the whole Rodney Joe Cooley, that electronic era that people, outside of LA and that era may not have been familiar with. So I like the fact that there was a history lesson there in the modernization of it.
I'm with you.
I like the cuts that he sampled, like with Luther. I like how he did Use Your Heart. I like the fact that he talks about, being, if you don't go past the 10, don't talk about LA.
Yeah.
Like, I just really, really feel GNX. And so again, it might be recency bias, but
it's that GNX album, the way you broke it down, it's like an ode to the past, you know what I'm saying, with the samples and all of that, but keeping it relevant and now too. It sounds like a balanced 90s West Coast album that's just, it's 2025 though,
right?
So I like it.
I like it. So I feel that. So shout out to everyone in the chat. Listen, when we come forward, I have, a couple little updates for you. One of the Super Bowl wifeys is in a bit of hot water. We're going to give you details on that. And maybe we'll talk about Boosie and what he's talking about on social media. Maybe. All of that and more on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project.
Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back into KBLA Talk 1580 with Jill Munroe and your entertainment news update. So we know the Super Bowl is just 2 days away. Who's your pick? Throw it up. Let me know. I'm neutral because I can't see myself going for the Eagles. They beat the Rams. And as Matthew Stafford's wife said, we were 1 play away. That's a whole nother conversation because she is talking about whether Matthew will stay because of that and the fact the Rams want to get rid of Cooper Kupp. Conversation for another day. But another NFL wifey, I believe she is Saquon Barkley's fiance, is coming under fire. Let me just say this. If you have some type of profile, right? Public-facing profile. I'm not even saying a celebrity. I'm just saying, you are the head of your PTA. If you know that you joined social media in your youth or at a time when your filter wasn't as stringent, perhaps it's a good idea to delete your social media and start fresh, right? I bet you Anna wishes that she did. That's Saquon Barkley's fiance's name. And she's under fire because someone has dug up her old tweets. They are from 2012, 2013-ish. And of course, they screenshot them. And she used the N-word multiple times, including one that was a hashtag game, quoting, Kanye's Gold Digger, right? One of them said, "My mom gets so mad when I call her the N-word." Then they were playing, I guess cheater guy games. And, remember that Disney film that it was a couple of films. Raven Simone was in, and the girls from 3LW, the Cheetah Girls. She changed the name to Cheetah N-words. And, on and on and on. And of course, as I said, social media has found them, and some are demanding that Saquon address it publicly. Yes, the same week that he's getting ready for a Super Bowl matchup. And others are wondering what he's doing with a woman that would use language as such. And so the question I do pose is that, we all know people that feel comfortable by association because they are, let's say, familiar with the community, the culture, right? And they have to be told by some and maybe allowed to by others, hey, probably not a good idea for you to utilize that language. Probably is not going to work for you in any form or fashion, right? But if they were young teens under 18, do you allow any grace for that? Because sometimes as a kid, right, race out of it, you're just talking, you're just wilding out, and you do not necessarily mean the things that you were saying. But do we give grace for that anymore? Do our kids allow those type of mistakes? I know some are. Like some people are forgiven and move past stuff, and then some, their feet are held to the fire. So I'm just wondering where we kind of stand on those type of issues, because they continue to come up, and they will do so as social media grows and grows and grows, Andy?
No, we don't give any passes. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? You, even as a youth, I'm sorry, born in America, you know what's cracking. So no excuses.
So when people issue apologies for things like that, like I think when people are like, they should apologize, I think it's unnecessary. Apologize for what? They meant it when they said apologize that it made you feel a way now after the, I just think apology is the wrong action. I don't know.
Show a level of contrition, I guess.
That is true. Accountability. Yeah. Hey, this was wrong.
Acknowledge it.
Yeah. I was out of line, blah, blah, blah. But I guess sometimes I feel like a lot of those things are empty, Well,
in that case, then maybe there should be some sort of campaign that, if we look and we see that in the past that you tweeted some racist stuff, go ahead and acknowledge it, right? Apologize, even though the apology is not going to really mean nothing, but go on, a campaign to local nonprofits to talk about racism and stuff like that. That'll be the actual apology.
I want to read this comment because I know what you're saying there, Baxter Mox. I know what the implication is. He says, and I'm assuming you're a man. I'm almost positive you are. I can guarantee you Saquon is not going to date whoever is complaining about this. Who are you implying is complaining about it? You want to say that, Jill, why is anyone calling their mother the N-word? I think she was making a joke, inappropriate, as teens are stupid and whatever, unless you're talking about Bad Barbie or something, Bad Baby or something like that. They shouldn't be, but that is how ridiculous it is. I'm not saying the woman should get a pass. I'm simply asking a question. Let us be clear on that. I don't, that's not in my ministry to allow people to say that. But Baxter, the implication that it is black women only that have a problem with this and blah, 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 and crying and complaining, You got to stop that. It's just that it is inappropriate. Nobody is whining about Saquon. You know, Jalen Hurts is the boo that everybody is really lusting after, if you want to take it there. And he has a black fiance, and people are happy about it. So don't be so quick to throw that into the mix. And 3, you don't know what Saquon might push up on the right night. So don't be out there making assertions for him, because you don't know that man. And they can have you looking silly taking up for these athletes and celebrities sometimes when they double and triple back. Not saying that Saquon would or anything of that nature. Just putting that out there. Pretty Brown Mimi says proximity to blackness or having biracial kids still doesn't give you a pass to say the N-word either. I agree, but some people feel differently, and that's why we put it out there. Listen, before we go, I just want to thank you guys for locking in each and every day. We will be back on Monday, of course, to talk about Kendrick's performance and whatever else jumps off over the weekend, because you know there's going to be a lot of things, and I'm going to be here to fill you in on all of it. Thanks for locking in. Enjoy your weekend, and be good out there. Appreciate you guys.
She don't see it how I see it. Got a big mouth, but he lack big ideas. Send him to the moon, that's just how I feel, yelling. It's not enough. Few solid left, but it's not enough. Few that'll reach that, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. Hey. Hey. What's that on that beat? But somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The Department of Justice has agreed to not release a list of FBI agents investigating genuine